Before we get into the video, could everyone please subscribe to my Endless Diary Tales channel? Thank you so much. Liam sent me a WhatsApp message. I'm coming home for dinner tonight. Then he sent a photo of the Bulgari necklace I'd wanted for so long but never received. Liam sent a voice message. Had enough of your tantrum. Enough. I want to eat your homemade bait. He paused, then added, Chloe will be here too, so make extra. The voice message ended abruptly. I looked at the living room where half of Liam's belongings were already packed into boxes and smiled. I snapped a photo and sent it to Liam. Liam, did you forget? We broke up. Liam didn't reply. I ignored it and continued packing until the living room grew dark. Before I could turn on a light, I heard movement from the entrance. The front door opened from the outside, and laughter filled the air. They say you're lucky. A few words from you and Stella cooks for you. If you're unhappy, you can ignore Stella for days. If you were my boyfriend, I'd kick you out. Chloe punched Liam on the back. Liam let out an exaggerated owl, grabbed Chloe's fist, and spoke in a doting tone. Who else could put up with your spoiled brat attitude besides me? Didn't you say you want it baked? You'd better thank Stella properly for cooking for you later, or I'll smack your butt. Liam laughed and made to spank Chloe's butt. Their open joking in front of me felt like flirting. In the past, I would have rushed over and confronted Liam, telling him to keep his distance from Chloe. But now I just stood in the living room watching them joke and play, and let out a resigned sound. Liam, did you see my WhatsApp message? The two at the entrance suddenly stopped as if finally realizing I was still there. I watched Chloe playfully tap Liam, who then rubbed his nose and switched on the main living room light. Before he could speak, he was startled by the pile of belongings in front of him. What is all this? Liam looked at the stacked boxes, his expression instantly darkening. Didn't I tell you to cook, Stella? Why or why? Oh, you're packing your belongings out of the blue? Liam looked displeased, then glanced at the kitchen. The empty kitchen held no aroma of food. Even the pots and pans were neatly in their usual places. He frowned. Where's dinner? He walked to the dining room, opened the refrigerator, and found only a few drinks, no crabs at all. He slammed the refrigerator door shut. Stella, did you hear? Liam's voice was cut off by Chloe, who walked over laughing and playfully punched him in the chest, scolding him. Talk to Stella properly. There must be a reason why she didn't cook. Why are you losing your temper with her? Chloe turned to me. Stella, don't be mad at him. He's just childish and spoiled. He was just bragging about how much you do for him, saying it made him look good. I watched Chloe speak like a hostess, like Liam's actual girlfriend, then looked at Liam awkwardly turning his head, waiting for me to back down. I found it utterly ridiculous. So ridiculous that I stopped packing and told Liam. Liam, if I'm not mistaken, we've already broken up. I nudged one of the boxes on the floor with my toe. Shouldn't an ex's belongings not stay here anymore? My tone was calm, unlike the frantic person I'd been with Liam just a week ago. I watched Liam's face change, and before he could speak, I reminded him. A week ago, I asked you, didn't I, Liam? I said, seriously trying to help him remember. Didn't I say that if you walked out that door, we'd be over? I took a step forward. Seeing a flicker of guilt in Liam's eyes, I continued. What did you say back then? You said, Stella, if we're breaking up, then we're breaking up. Whoever doesn't agree is a dog. I was cut off before I could finish by Liam, who furiously punched the wall, creating a muffled thud. Chloe shrieked, startled, then cradled Liam's bleeding fist and glared at me. Stella, what are you doing? Her gentleness from moments ago was gone, replaced by a sharp edge. Do you have any idea that Liam has been telling me all week how good-tempered and kind you are? He even said that if you two got back together this time, he would propose to you. He talked about giving you a stable future, asking us for ideas on how to make the proposal more unique and how to make you happier. How could you treat Liam like this? Chloe's eyes gleamed with anger, as if she'd suffered some immense grievance, and tears began to fall. Liam was wholeheartedly planning your future, and all he gets is you saying you're breaking up, throwing all his things out, and telling him to get lost. Stella, you really shouldn't be so selfish. Listening to Chloe's barrage of accusations against me and seeing Liam's angry face soften, his gaze tenderly settling on Chloe, made my stomach churn. Then he gently patted Chloe's head and said, I'm fine. Liam then turned to me as if he'd struggled for a long time before finally telling me, Originally, I didn't want you to know. I actually wanted to make things official with you to propose. Stella, haven't you always said I didn't care about you? Haven't you asked when I finally settled down? Seeing everyone around us getting married and having kids, Stella. Liam pulled his hand from Chloe's grasp, his fist still streaked with blood. He took out the necklace I'd wanted for a long time from his pocket and walked towards me. I can forgive your tantrum and overlook how far you've gone this time. But you have to promise me you won't do this again. If I wasn't here today, wouldn't we just be fighting and getting upset again, Stella? He opened the velvet box, and the sparkling diamond was right before my eyes. I always remember what you like and don't like. So, can you stop being angry now? He took out the necklace, about to put it on me. I heard Chloe's sarcastic remark. Only would spoil you like this. Who else could put up with a spoiled brat like you, so willful and immature? As I felt Liam approach, his scent filled my nostrils, and I suddenly remembered our fight that day. I'd asked Liam if he absolutely had to leave, if he would always choose to abandon me whenever Chloe was around. Was it true that in Liam's heart I would never measure up to Chloe? Liam had looked at me as if I were insane then and retorted, Stella, how much more do you want me to be with you? I spend most of my time with you when I come home every day. Half my life is wasted on you, and you still complain it's not enough. I just want to hang out with my friends for a bit. What's wrong with that? We erupted into a fierce argument. It ended with me saying, if you go out, we're breaking up. I watched Liam freeze by the entrance, tears streaming down my face, my voice catching in my throat. Liam, I'm your girlfriend, not a criminal who's hogging your time. You can't use spending time with your friends when it comes to me. Why is it that with your friends, with Chloe, it's always hanging out, eating together, playing games together? But when it involves me, it's just spending time with. When you're with Chloe, it's called relaxing. Even if you're exhausted, you'll play games with her, go camping, relax with her. But if I can't sleep and call you, I'm the one who's keeping you from sleeping. Being in a relationship is about two people. So, how did it become about you spending time with me? I was hysterical, finally telling Liam, if you walk out that door, we're over. Just go. We'll break up. I watched Liam's complicated expression on me. After a moment of hesitation, he took a step towards me, and my heart leaped. I thought my heartfelt confession had finally swayed him, that Liam's scales had finally tipped in my favor. Chloe's phone call came through. Chloe eagerly asked him if he'd left yet, if he was on his way, and even laughed as she asked him, Liam, the guys are all joking that you're henpecked, too scared to come because of Stella. But I told them you'd definitely show up and you're not henpecked at all, right, Liam? You wouldn't disappoint me, would you? Liam immediately stepped back. Before hanging up, he told Chloe, I'll be right there. Then Liam gave me a cold glance and headed for the door. I called out to Liam. He didn't turn around, coldly tossing out a phrase. Stella, you want to break up, huh? Fine. If we're breaking up, then we're breaking up. Whoever doesn't agree is a dog. Liam slammed the door shut with a thunderous bang. In the empty room, the aroma of the meal I'd cooked still lingered, as if mocking my self-delusion, or perhaps telling me how pathetic my unrequited love truly was. That night, I sat at the dining table looking at the full spread of Liam's favorite dishes. I watched Chloe's constantly updated videos on her social media feed. Liam and Chloe, arm in arm, singing love songs, sharing a celebratory drink, and hugging amidst their friends' cheers. Chloe's social media feed was like a live broadcast, or perhaps silently flaunting it to me. Stella, what do you have to compare to me? The food tasted like sawdust in my mouth. Yet, I forced myself to eat the entire table's worth, stuffing myself until my stomach nearly burst. I rushed to the bathroom and threw up until I was dizzy, then cried until I was hoarse. After that, I was admitted to the emergency room with gastroenteritis and spent 3 days on an 4 drip. Over those 3 days, I watched Chloe post one update after another on her social media feed. Photos of her diving with Liam, surfing with him, hiking with him, and even attending a live comedy show that I'd always wanted to see but never had the chance to. I saw Chloe's captions one after another, and the comments section was abuzz with activity. Everyone asking when Chloe would take over, when she'd get Liam to dump me. Chloe replied to each one with emojis saying, just wait. And every single one Liam had liked. Liam wasn't oblivious. Liam tacitly approved of Chloe saying and doing these things. He allowed Chloe to revel in my pain, telling me this was the price for upsetting him. I knew Liam just like after every argument, I would always cry and beg him to forgive me, repeatedly humbling myself and pleading for us to stay together because I missed him so much. I felt I was going insane. I thought I'd continue this cycle just like before. But when I left the hospital and saw Liam appear on Chloe's social media feed, their back silhouetted against a sunrise, Chloe's caption read, "Someone will always shield you from wind and rain." I felt like I suddenly let go. I felt like I suddenly no longer cared to find out whether I or Chloe held a more significant place in Liam's heart. Even he, I realized I hadn't thought about in a long time. Now I saw Chloe still fuming and Liam still waiting for me to back down like I always had. As if countless scenes were overlapping, I suddenly took a step back. "I don't need it anymore, Liam." I looked at Liam's stunned expression, feeling only mockery. "I don't need you to give me anything anymore." My voice remained very calm. It was as if I had finally seen my own heart clearly. "I truly felt like I had moved on since you think spending time with me every day is too much and that I'm high maintenance." Then, as your friend said, I turned, meeting Chloe's resentful expression and smiling. "A willful and immature spoiled brat like me won't continue to hold back your life." I told Liam, "I've already scheduled a moving company. Since you're here, you might as well take all your belongings with you. From now on, let's not contact each other." I remembered that I had actually wanted to delete Liam's contact info back then, but then thought of his belongings. I still owed him an explanation. Since he was here, it was a good time to get closure. I watched Liam freeze in place, staring into my eyes in disbelief, as if trying to find something there. But he found no trace of the lingering affection and love I once held for him. A sudden panic seized him as if he was about to lose something incredibly important. Before he could think further, he heard Chloe say, "Stella, do you think saying all this will make Liam side with you?" "Don't think I don't know." "Shut up." Liam had never taken my side before, but for the first time, he snapped at Chloe in front of me. He looked at Chloe almost frantically. "This is between her and me. It's not your place to interfere, Stella." When he turned to face me, his eyes suddenly widened. "Are you still angry with me? Are you mad because I haven't contacted you these past few days?" Liam's panic grew, escalating to the point where he told me, "I was just annoyed that you always tried to control me, but how could you kick me out? Didn't we agree that even if we argued, broke up, or gave each other the silent treatment, we'd never kick each other out? If it really came to this, Stella, we both knew if it truly came to this, it meant one person was resolutely giving up." Only Liam hadn't finished speaking. An ill-timed voice spoke from outside the door. "Excuse me, who is moving?" The movers had arrived. Several movers gathered at the door, tools in hand, and asked again from the entrance, "Excuse me, is someone moving?" The air fell silent for a moment. I saw Liam's face instantly turn pale. I stepped forward and nodded. "It's me." I pointed to the boxes on the floor which I had mostly packed and told the movers, "All these things need to be moved. Thank you." Honestly, I thought this would be agonizing and hard to accept. But actually, deciding to break up and get closure with Liam felt much easier than I had imagined. I thought I'd at least cry or, at least like before, claim I wanted to break up when every defiant word secretly carried the same message, which was, "Liam, please soothe me. Liam, please soothe me. Comfort me." The security I so desperately craved stemmed entirely from Liam's attention and affection for me. Those things had trapped me for so long that I almost forgot I could live well and happily even before Liam. I took out the notepad I prepared. "Here's the address." It was an apartment Liam had bought in his own name before we lived together. I told the movers, "Just deliver them here." The movers nodded, said, "Okay," and started to work. Just as they were about to move the first box, Liam suddenly burst out shouting, "Don't touch it. Who gave you permission to touch my things? Who gave you permission to move my things? I don't agree." Liam, almost hysterical, blocked the movers standing in front of them, his eyes red as he looked at me. "Stella, I don't agree to break up." "Who said I want to break up with you? I've already decided this is the last time I'll act like this, indulging myself like this. After I come back this time, I'm planning to propose to you, marry you, and live a good life with you, Stella. Don't you know?" Watching him on the verge of breaking down, his composure completely gone, an incredibly inappropriate thought suddenly occurred to me. I looked at Liam's face and suddenly said, "Don't do this. It's undignified. We're adults. Why are you acting crazy?" I remembered the first time Chloe appeared between us. I also broke down hysterically, shouting Liam's name, clinging to his arm without a care for my image, crying and saying, "I don't want you to go. Liam, I don't want to break up. I don't want to break up. Liam, I love you. Liam, I love you." Back then, Liam's expression towards me was scornful and condescending. He forcefully pushed my hand away and retorted, "Stella, I think we really need to cool off." Liam left. In the empty apartment, every corner bore traces of Liam's life. Even the air felt filled with countless tiny needles, piercing my nerves, making the pain so intense I could barely breathe. I cried and called Liam, only to hear Chloe casually shout, "Liam, Stella's crying and looking for you." Chloe held Liam's phone on speaker. I heard Liam's friends laughing, mocking me for being so desperate. Someone even said, "It has to be Liam. He trains his girlfriend like a dog. How do you do it? Teach us." Liam replied with an indifferent expression, "Hang up. I don't want to hear her name." After that, the phone never rang through again and there was no reply on WhatsApp. Like a pebble dropped into the deep sea, creating no ripples, Liam deliberately avoided me. I couldn't find him. Back then, Liam never considered the lifeless existence I led while being subjected to his silent treatment. He wouldn't have known that even just breathing felt like it was killing me, making me feel like I truly couldn't go on. Now I looked at Liam's crumbling face and calmly told him, "Liam, stop acting crazy. You're delaying the movers from finishing their shift." Liam froze in place like a puppy abandoned by its owner, looking at me with red eyes, forcing out a sentence. "Stella, are you really breaking up with me?" Liam repeated the words I had once said, asking again, "Are you really breaking up? Stella, I'm asking you one last time. Are you breaking up?" Only now did I finally seem to understand that my persistence, my desperation, and anxiety back then were nothing but an unnecessary burden in Liam's eyes. Just as now, looking at Liam, even though he was hysterical, even though his eyes were red, I couldn't feel sorry for him like I used to. "Liam, let's part ways amicably." When he left, he seemed on the verge of shattering. Even those who always tried to stir up trouble between us didn't dare say anything when they saw him like that. I watched as Liam's belongings disappeared one by one from the apartment. And as the place finally emptied, I sat on the sofa and still remembered renting this apartment. My heart was full of aspirations to live with Liam, imagining snuggling at home to binge-watch shows or movies after work together. Or that even if we fought, we wouldn't let it linger overnight. We'd both back down, and as long as we met each other halfway, we wouldn't reach a point of no return. But I never imagined. It was all like a dream. The dream ended. I was back to square one. The day I canceled my lease with the landlord, he asked me, "There's still half a year left. Aren't you reconsidering?" The landlord was all business. "The deposit cannot be refunded." I looked around the apartment again at everything inside. My relationship with Liam was completely over. I smiled and shook my head. No need. The day I left, Liam seemed to sense something. He woke up amidst a pile of bottles, subconsciously reaching for his phone, but a hand pressed it down. In his haze he called out my name, but the other person retorted, clearly annoyed. "I'm not Stella." Chloe, fuming, kicked over an empty can by her foot and looked at Liam. "Liam, how long are you going to keep wallowing? She's just a woman. Can't you find another one? Liam, have all the women in the world died out, leaving only Stella for you to be so desperate over?" Chloe grabbed a bottle of alcohol, chugged it, then sat next to Liam, pushing him down onto the floor and looked at him. "Look at me, Liam. Look at me, Liam." Liam was pinned to the carpet, looking at Chloe so close to him. He suddenly remembered our first fight when Chloe invited him camping, saying she wanted to watch the sunrise with him. The thought had felt exciting back then. He just thought it was normal for friends to hang out. No big deal. So he casually agreed. But when I heard about it, I exploded in anger and confronted him, saying he had no boundaries, that he didn't understand appropriate distance, and demanded he refuse Chloe. I cried and demanded he choose, asking him to pick between me and Chloe. He only thought I was willful and unreasonable. But when he saw me cry, he actually softened. He opened the WhatsApp chat window and saw Chloe's message. "Liam, the guys are all betting on you. You're the only one of us in a relationship. They're betting you won't dare come because Stella won't let you, saying you're henpecked. They place big bets, but I told them you're definitely not like that. You'll come, won't you, Liam? Liam, I bet a whole month's salary. Please don't let me lose. He looked at Chloe's heartfelt words and then confronted me with them, saying, Stella, do you really want me to be laughed at and looked down upon by my friends? Can you please stop with your dirty thoughts? Just because you're twisted doesn't mean everyone else is too. Let me tell you, Stella, if you don't want me to go, I'll go anyway. That day, he smashed the ceramic doll we had made together, bitterly feeling like I was a chain binding his freedom. As he stormed towards the entrance, I cried and clung to him, begging him, Liam, please don't go. Liam, please don't go. He still left. So I really did get hurt. So this is what it feels like to be abandoned. Suddenly, as he watched Chloe's face leaning in for a kiss, he forcefully pushed her away. With Chloe's face full of shock, he told her, Chloe, you're right, Chloe. Even if every woman in the world died out, only Stella would live in my heart. My world only has one woman. Stella, get rid of your disgusting and filthy thoughts. You sicken me. Liam suddenly remembered how many times I had warned him that Chloe's intentions were impure. How many times I had asked him to keep his distance from her. Each time when things escalated, he would always say, Stella, don't be so cynical that you see dirt in everything. Back then I had broken down, begging him to choose me just once, but he never did. Late regret engulfed his heart. He was in so much pain he could barely breathe. The pain was so intense that he found my phone number and was about to dial it when he heard Chloe's voice. Don't bother looking, Chloe with red eyes scrubbed from the floor and looked at Liam. Stella left you a long time ago. Liam, why are you pretending to be so devoted when she was utterly devoted to living with you? You complained to us every day that she was controlling you, suffocating you, making you feel trapped. What? Now you think Stella was good? Liam, I never begged you to always favor me. You chose to favor me yourself, and that's what made Stella give up. Chloe looked at Liam, then took out her phone, opened my social media feed and showed him. Stella already canceled the lease on that apartment. She didn't want to kick you out. She simply didn't care about you anymore. Liam, you've been abandoned. She doesn't want you. Chloe's voice abruptly cut off. Liam's hand was clamped tightly around her neck. Liam stared in disbelief at my social media feed. The latest update showed me celebrating my move to a new place, sitting with friends for a pizza night. The caption read, I am my own star. In that instant, something inside Liam seemed to shatter. He snatched Chloe's phone, his eyes red, and scrolled through my social media feed. He scrolled all the way down until he found the photo from the day we argued and broke up. A photo of me in the hospital hooked up to an 4-drip, my weak pale face with the caption, turns out, no one will always hold an umbrella for you. He suddenly remembered that he had also looked at my social media feed that day, but he'd never seen this post. Panicked, he opened his own phone, wanting to confirm if he'd misread it, only to find that when he opened my social media feed, there was only a gray bar. I had already deleted him. His eyes red, he muttered, Impossible. It can't be. Stella loved me so much. How could she delete me? It must be fake. Fake. He hastily went back to the chat window, his hand trembling as he tried to type my name, but for a long time it kept showing an error. His emotions gradually spiraled into a breakdown, and his hand slipped, sending an emoji, only for a message to appear. Stella has enabled friend verification. You are not yet her friend. Please send a friend request first. How is this possible? It must be fake. How could Stella delete me? Liam reopened Chloe's phone, about to find me, but Chloe suddenly snatched her phone back, shouting at him with a guilty expression. This is my phone. Why should I give it to you? Chloe wildly tried to leave, but a wave of unease washed over Liam as if he had a premonition. He grabbed Chloe and demanded, What are you feeling guilty about? Liam had never actually thought that one day he would see my presence on Chloe's phone, nor had he imagined that Chloe's phone held so many secrets. Every time Chloe stole Liam from me, she would brag to me, always telling me, Stella, what do you have to fight me with? Stella, believe it or not, even if you were on your deathbed, Liam still wouldn't choose you. The day I got sick, I had tried to reach Liam. I cried until I had a stomach hemorrhage and was rushed to the hospital. The nurse actually used my phone to call Liam. But when my call came through, Chloe snatched the phone, hung up and turned it off. And she even used Liam's phone to tell him, "You can't spoil women." I bet Stella is just trying to play the victim again. Liam, how much longer are you going to let Stella control you? Back then, he just thought I was throwing another tantrum just like before, using every trick in the book to make him come back. He never imagined I'd been hospitalized with a stomach hemorrhage and that when I weakened and tried to reach him, Chloe would use her own WhatsApp to send me photos of him drinking, telling me, "Don't bother Liam anymore. He really finds you annoying." He never thought I was annoying. He just wanted freedom, a little space for himself, but he never intended to truly lose me. He replayed every word Chloe had said to me, remembering how I would always refute her until all that was left was a single phrase, "I wish you both happiness." His heart seemed to rip open, tearing into countless tiny holes through which a howling draft constantly blew. He finally collapsed onto the floor, sobbing uncontrollably, crying until he borrowed someone else's phone to try and find me, only to discover that I hadn't just blocked and deleted him. I had cleanly deleted everyone around him too, as if I genuinely wanted to cut him out of my life completely. Only now did he finally realize that he truly seemed to have lost me. Actually, after moving, I had a few days of adjustment, but soon I got used to this life. I had plans with colleagues for a pizza night. As I left the office, I saw Liam waiting downstairs. Liam had lost a lot of weight and looked very haggard. He stood there like a child who had done something wrong, waiting to be lectured and scolded, then dutifully admitting his mistakes. But as I walked past him, I simply told my friend, "We'll have to queue soon. We should hurry." My colleagues all knew about my breakup. At first, some even asked me if I was really going to leave him. After all, they had witnessed all the foolish things I did when Liam and I were together. But now my colleague just gave Liam a disdainful glance. How irritating. After working like a dog all day, I have to see this kind of rubbish at night. I knew my colleague wanted to stand up for me, and I was amused, but I didn't notice Liam's face turn embarrassed. Just as I was about to get into the car, my wrist was suddenly grabbed. "Stella!" Liam called out my name, his voice pleading. "Can we talk?" Liam had always been condescending. Every time I hoped we could have a calm, reasonable discussion, Liam would always say, "There's nothing to talk about with you. Speaking another word to you is like talking to a brick wall now." I turned, meeting Liam's cautious expression, and found it laughable. "Liam, there's nothing for us to talk about." I fully pulled my hand away and told him, "Don't let me see you again." I thought Liam would understand what I meant, but unexpectedly, he suddenly seemed to have no work, no need to hang out with his friends or Chloe anymore. Every day without fail, he'd appear downstairs from my office. Every day, holding a bouquet of roses, he'd follow behind me, asking, "Stella, what do you want to eat today?" "Stella, I saw a new dessert shop on the review app. Do you want to try it?" "Stella, the weather's changing soon. You should take care of yourself." "Stella, Stella." Even though I kept telling myself that if I just treated him like air, I could truly ignore his existence, his daily harassment had severely impacted my life. Finally, on this day of heavy rain, Liam reappeared downstairs from my office like a pathetic puppy abandoned by its owner. When he saw me, his face lit up with such joy that his eyes sparkled. "Stella!" Liam walked towards me, holding his umbrella, and I finally couldn't hold back anymore. "Liam, didn't you want to talk?" I hadn't imagined I would still be entangled with Liam, nor that I would ever sit at the same table with him again. The day I accepted Liam's confession and we first got together, before I could even fully rejoice, there was also a heavy downpour, and we sat in a coffee shop just like this one. Back then my heart was full of joy. Just sitting here with the person I loved felt so incredibly happy. Now I looked at Liam. "Liam, what's the point?" I didn't want to be harsh, but a wave of irritation washed over me. As rain pounded against the window, I met Liam's gaze, speaking each word slowly. "Love that comes too late is worthless. Have you ever heard that saying?" Liam's expression froze, and he immediately started to explain. "It's not like that, Stella. I didn't know you were sick or that you had a stomach hemorrhage. I certainly didn't know Chloe was doing those things behind my back." Liam was so flustered. He was on the verge of tears. "I truly didn't know you'd been through so much. If I had known." "Liam, stop pretending." I cut him off coldly. "Did you really not know? You just didn't want to know. I'd said those things countless times before." Every time I told you, you always thought it was unnecessary. You never had any patience for me. You never cared about whoever was by your side. All this regret and emotion you're showing now is simply because you feel you can no longer control me. You've lost a toy who would do whatever you wanted, and you're just bored. I had told you I didn't like Chloe. I didn't like Liam's friends. I didn't like them making fun of me, saying things that made me feel utterly disrespected. I didn't like them using the excuse that Liam was henpecked to force him into making choices. I didn't like that Liam always fell for their tricks. Each time I ended up losing out, becoming the one who was cast aside. But did he really not know? Liam always knew. He just disregarded my feelings, ignored my suffering, knowing I would always compromise, knowing I would always forgive him, and knowing that whenever he was done playing around, I would always be waiting for him like a lapdog right where he left me. But this time was different. That's why Liam was finally panicking. Liam, if this time were like before and I chose to wait for you again, I looked at Liam, finding it quite laughable. You just assume like every other time that I was throwing myself at you, that I was worthless, that you could continue to ignore me, and then the same things would happen over and over again. Liam, let's not see each other anymore. Your behavior truly bothers me. I watched Liam's eyes slowly turn red, watched him scramble up from the couch, chase me to the door and call my name. Stella. I could even see Liam's tears welling up. It's raining outside. Liam handed me the umbrella. You're not well. Don't get caught in the rain and catch a cold. The umbrella lay between us. I remembered every time I needed him to hold an umbrella for me. Liam always chose to hold it for Chloe instead, and then blamed me for being unreasonable. But now I just looked at the umbrella, raised my head, met Liam's hopeful eyes and told him, I don't need it anymore. Liam, I haven't needed your umbrella for a long time. My colleague was waiting nearby. Seeing me emerge, they rolled down the car window and called out to me, Stella, get in. I didn't look back. Liam and I could never go back. The rain was still falling. Powdering against the car window, I watched Liam's silhouette gradually shrink to a mere speck, then pulled my gaze away, looking forward. Life, after all, was still long. Who would always wait in the same spot for someone else?